Some slightly different content for you today. I was lucky enough to stream and cast Ammonite TCG Games casual tournament between our friends, practicing for an upcoming cup. This took place on my Twitch channel, which you can find in the description below. Chuck us a follow, be notified for when the next one starts. So, casting is something I really enjoy doing, and I'm looking to actively improve upon come future tournaments. That being said, this was a very impromptu tournament, which you'll be able to tell by the lack of preparation, the lack of overlay, just generally being a little bit rough around the edges. But, as I said again, this is something I do enjoy, I'd like to do again, and we are looking to improve upon with a bit of time. Now, the matchup the following is round 2 of the tournament series between Ho-Oh Firebox and Wugtrio Mill, and it comes pretty much down to the wire across the entire series, and it was such a good laugh to stream alongside those who watch live. So please do let us know what you think about this experience, bit of both. And as always, I'm happy to listen to any feedback, and I hope you enjoy. Have a lovely day. Game number 2. Game 2? Round 2, in fact. Round 2, game 1. We have got Ed playing Ammonite Firebox, pretty similar to the one I played before, versus Theo on Wugtrio Mill. You can see we are on turn 3 now. We had Theo starting with a pretty good start there, and handing it back over to Ed now. We had the Clefairy already set up, but the Char Cadet is now in play. Latias allowing for that movement. I can see a Ho-Oh coming down on Ed's side. Are you winning yet, Jared? I think you might be, fella. You may or may not be. Oh, the Wellspring Ogerpon coming into play. Iono chilling through. Theo wouldn't be too upset by seeing that hand, I don't think. The Ignition for Great Balls. Another Buddy Poffin. Prism down on the Wellspring, though. It could be a double Wiglet turn here if we can find that Armor Rouge. But instead, we are just sobbing for 20. Can't retreat, but that is fine. We are more than happy to see that. Right, Poffin down. We'll grab another Diglett. We have now got the Shaman in play. We are not going to be worried about that anymore. Wugtrio down. Got Ignition Energy. We are milling, ladies and gentlemen. We are going off to the races, in fact. Dunsparce is also a fantastic follow-up draw here. We're going to be drawing 3 cards, shuffling both back into the deck. It's going to be our consistent draw engine. And of course, Theo will be doing that as soon as possible. See, second Wugtrio already sorted. As soon as that gets knocked out, we got a second one with that reversal energy following up. Double Dunsparce in play. We're thinking about your Hilda this turn in case we draw into another one, but I don't think it's needed. I agree. Theo there. Undersea Tunnel. Flipping. 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads, 9 cards milled off the top of the deck. The BM coming through, losing the legacy energy as well. But of course, Ignition Energy does indeed discard itself at the end of the turn. But fantastic usage. And just like that, Ed is down to 28 cards left. Wow, Theo hits heads like that all this time, then I think we're going to be doing well. I think, due to Theo checking out their discard pile, I might need to move my camera. Whee! We'll plonk ourselves somewhere over here, I think. And maybe make myself a little bit smaller and shut myself up in this corner maybe. Yeah, there we go. I'm teeny tiny, but I'm in the corner. In the meantime, Clefairy comes forwards, they take the knockout. Just taking that one prize, though, it's going to be nice and slow. Reversal down on the Wiglet again. Great Ball comes forwards, finding another Wugtrio. Not going to complain about that one at all, evolving that up. We've got Hilda coming down. Again, Ed playing this quite well in the sense that actually he doesn't need to evolve anything. We don't need to get trapped with the counter catch provided Latias is down. So all of the counter catches, all of the boss stall strategies aren't becoming particularly useful. However, if Theo just hits heads after heads after heads, that's not going to matter. Ed's not going to have a deck to play with. So I think he's going to be doing alright in that regard. Now again, Wugtrio comes down, Undersea Tunnel. Flipping heads, 1, 2, 6 off the top again. That's a pretty good outcome. Again, discarding a whole bunch of bits and bobs from there, but that's absolutely fine. I don't think Theo's going to be too upset about that one at all. Well above average, 5-1 on their heads as it currently stands. Check my phone, I'm just getting messages on Discord. I can't change it, we're going to lose the stream. Neutralization zone, though, is pretty huge. There we go, another knockout there, reversal goes. However, I don't think Theo's going to mind all too much. We've got another Dunsparce, so we can reload with... Oh, Ed's evolved into the old, the Armor Rouge. Does have to commit 3 energies to the active though, and it can take the knockout actually, so I don't think he's all too worried about it. And in fact, he can always retreat into it, and Neutralization Zone can come through onto it as well. So actually, I think Ed's in not too bad a position now. Because if he does put down the Neutralization Zone, then Armor Rouge takes a knockout instead until he can get rid of it. So it's not like Theo's taking knockouts at any point anyway. So I think it's going to be absolutely fine. Gravity Gemstone gets dropped. Both of them. Again, not going to make too much of a difference if Latias in play. But again, forcing that Dunsparce, seeing what we can find off of the runaway draw. Will drop the Neutralization Zone though, try and make it a bit more difficult for Ed. And indeed, we're going to drop the Iono, refresh our hand to 6 most likely, then get the runaway draw up to 9. I can see, yeah, Ed, that feels like this game has been insane so far. We are indeed on 5 heads, 1 tails as it currently stands on the Wugtrio Mill. Night Stretch comes back, recycling that trio. Got 1 sorted for next turn. I was going to say, I think it's quite worth just holding this hand. We got what we wanted. Undersea Tunnels. No. 1. Averaging out a little bit more. We're now 6 for 3. 6 for 3. Still well above odds now. 75% in fact. That's quite considerable, I'm not going to lie. I bet Theo's loving life as it currently stands. He's got 3 more prizes. Ed did get off to a very quick start, and that's kind of tricky for Theo. You kind of want a turn or 2 to start milling before they start taking a prize or not. But indeed, in fact, we're going to Iron Bundle to the active. And we've just learned what the refrigerating steam does. You can't attack if you're evolved. It doesn't say you can't attack this Pokemon, you just can't attack. So Theo is currently stuck with Wugtrio on the active, who cannot attack. However, he can retreat still. He has evolved despite the Gravity Gemstone, he can still retreat, and due to the Reversal G providing for 3, not 2. And it does mean he can attack the other one with the other reversal. However, it does put Theo on a bit of a timer with these energies. Theo needs to hit a 9 and a 9 again, really, to have a chance in this game. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, but it's not probable. No, I hadn't until last game as well, but it's actually quite good. I was talking to Ed before this, and he said it's quite good with the Dragapult as well, and they've just got just the 1. And they're looking at using that one for game at the end, once you've taken a couple with Clefairy, or the Mew or the Latias, and then go like, oh, actually, well, what are you going to do? Can't really do all too much. But Theo now out with Wugtrio. He may be a little bit in trouble. 2 in the prizes, all in play. Super Rod may or may not be needed. We have bundled into Armor Rouge, force 2 forwards, but again, Bundle can still attack next turn as well. Dunsparce coming out the deck again, maybe drawing 3 more. Needs to find some sort of recycle of those Wugtrios. Oh, definitely the Wiglets at least. Okay, retreating to get rid of the Iron Bundle's refrigerating steam ability. We're then Ionoing, seeing if we can find anything going forwards. That'd be a huge setup for next turn. We do have the Sacred Ash. Massive 5 Pokemon back into the deck. Might be bad for next turn, especially with the double to Dunsparce coming into play there. Miss, miss, miss. We are fully evened up 9 to 9 on the hits. If that was a triple heads, though, just as likely by the laws of probability. It's a 50-50 on every swing. But that does mean, indeed, that that could have been Ed down to very scary size of deck. But instead, Area 0 coming out, anything can attack again. Fire off, you may just choose to go to Armor Rouge coming forwards. Sounds a safe plan to me. And again, doesn't matter that the Prism is now stuck on the Armor Rouge, that can count as your colourless attack. Flame Cannon coming in, 19 burn. I don't think that's going to matter all too much as we say goodbye to that Wugtrio. Theo, unsurprisingly to everybody, comes forward again with his O. Second one set up on the bench. I can imagine there'll be Sacred Ash coming down. Put in all 5 of those Wugtrios. All the boys going back into the deck. And we'll be very likely drawing up here with these the Dunsparces. Artisan will be pretty huge. Just to make sure we get another attacker for next turn. I can imagine Arven next turn as well may come down for a Buddy Poffin just to refill those Dunsparces. Grab another Wiglet out of the deck as well. I've got a couple of options. Oh, we haven't used it, have we? That came off the runaway draw, so we can actually Arven for Buddy Poffin now if there's a chance. But choosing just to hold the Undersea Tunnel. Here we go. Miss. Heads. Heads. 6 is good at this point in the game. We're now putting pressure on for game. Super Rod down as well. Massive. I don't know if we've seen Recycle yet or not, or if it was pulled out the deck. Don't think I've seen it in either game yet. Artisan just checking the deck, see what resources are left. Again, as little draw as possible needs to happen here from Ed. He needs to hold as many chances as possible. Area 0, getting rid of the second Artisan. May just be a swing and a prey. Yeah, it's a swing. Theo is 3 heads away from winning game 1 here. All Buddy Poffins are out the deck. That'd be why he hasn't gone for that brute. Runaway draw. What can he find? Wiglet's big. Wiglet is a huge find, but we are out of Sparses. Air Balloon on the Shaman. No trapping that here. Theo does not want to Iona now. Does not want to put more cards back into the deck of Ed. It'd be not a bad idea getting rid of that one now. Choosing to keep it around. Just having a look through. Still plenty of energy in the deck. That's not the concern. The concern is chaining all of these trios. But he has got a Hilda for follow-up next turn. He may just choose and go, yeah, this is what's happening. We're just going to get through this way. It's not impossible. He needs to keep the Hilda. Iona does not want to be used. We do not want to give more cards left in that deck. I think these are the turns that matter. Undersea Tunnel. You can win it all now. Triple heads. 1. Oh, just for 1. It's not quite it. Do you lose 3? The Iono's gone though. That's kind of huge. Might be coping a little bit now. Does this deck have enough steam to go over the line? That is what we need to see. But every single turn. There we go. It means Ed has got... Well, Theo's only got 1 turn left. He needs to hit 2 heads to win the game on the spot. He is now negative in coin flips. He is owed a couple of heads by the Lords of Probability. Will he manage to get it through? He's found the ignition. He's going to Hilda though. He's going to fin the deck. There goes the Wugtrio. There's the reversal. No Dunsparces left. It all comes down to this Undersea Tunnel. Can he find it? The old remote Undersea Tunnel. We need 2 heads to win the game. There's 1! There's 2! He pulls it through! Theo, with the clutch Undersea Tunnel at the end of the game, wins game 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are going on to game 2. Ed will have the pick of the choice. Absolutely insane scenes here. Wugtrio putting it home thanks to the new Ignition energy from the black and white sets come out recently. Right, game 2 of round 2 here at Ammonite TCG Games tournament. We are looking at Theo as our perspective on Wugtrio Mill against Ed on the old big boy. Looking at the old Armoury Firebox, which I have indeed done a video on very recently. It's gone up on the channel. Go have a look at the description. Go have a look in the socials below if you fancy checking that one out. I yap on for about 40 minutes about the deck, have a few games in there. It's a laugh. I play awfully for most of them. So yeah, please feel free to leave a comment if you head over there after the stream and roast me. Please feel free to. Enjoy it, in fact. But Theo will be opening up here with the Wiglet. Where again it's the Charcadet in the active. We'll see how much pressure can be applied before the game's even started, really, on the side of Armoury here. Nestball comes down. Most likely going to go for just a low maintenance attacker. The Latias is always important, stops any of the bossing, gusting troubles which quite often run into with a deck like this. Can even attack every now and again if required, using the Prism energy, because of course it doesn't work like Luminous. As long as it's attached to a basic, it works as any type of energy. So you can now use its attack, which I don't know the name of, to be quite honest. But that will do it. Nestball attach pass on the side of Ed. We've got Artisan coming out. We've got the Great Ball. Wugtrio in hand. We have got an Iono, I believe, on Theo's side. We don't really want that. We want to draw into that for next turn. Oh, indeed, we will be. We have got a much, much better hand here. Although not much follow-up, that has to be said here. Yeah, we have got a wiggly boy, Jared. You're quite right here, fella. You're quite right. Let's move that logo. That's covering stuff. Let's move it there. See how that looks. There we go. That's a bit better. This first one of these I have casted over, so please feel free as well, because this will be re-uploaded to YouTube when all is said and done for the matches. Please feel free to let me know any suggestions, layouts, anything like that. Audio mixes, I am more than happy to listen, because to be quite frank, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. But I'm having a good time doing it, so we're going to continue the good time going forwards. But the reversal energy on the bench to Wiglet, we are very much hoping to find a supporter on the side of Theo, but on the side of Jared, we are looking very happy. We've got the Iron Bundle down, Nestball for the hands, looking to take 2-2-2. We're not going to be messing around. I'm assuming the hands was prized last game, but no follow-up. That does give Theo the opportunity. Unfortunately, swing and a miss off the top here. Artisan coming down. Another Wiglet. We can see the writing on the wall for the one in the active very soon. It's most likely just going to be a pass. Say, I don't know if one of your energy attachments for only one discard is worth it, especially when you're not running any basic energy anymore. You're running 4/4 line, I believe, of reversal ignition. You just want to make sure you turn after turn, hit those heads. We do throw it back over to Ed, who I'm assuming the Iron Hands was prized last game till right to the end, so we didn't see much of it. And of course that Shaman blocked out a lot of that Wellspring. But again, nothing going on the side of Ed. Ultra Ball is not bad, but we haven't actually gotten a way to attack. Ed hasn't taken a prize yet. We could get rid of the Countercatcher bundle. We keep Countercatcher. Gemstone's going to go, of course, to Latias. Not going to evolve any of those Armoury business. The Dunsparce gives us a lifeline. Are we going to draw anything we need? And a Hilda off the top would be huge. Ignition Evolution. Halfway there. Although the Arven does get an Ultra Ball. You can get a tool we don't need, and a item we don't need. Oh, the Ultra Ball. Tool. Probably the Gemstone. You're not trapping much. And it would be something. It would be some level of attacking. Now, Artisan to follow up for the Dunsparce. Or Dunsparce rather, not the Dunsparce. We haven't got an extra segment quite yet. Question is, what does Theo get rid of here? Buddy Poffing's huge if you manage to get double Dunsparce off in a single turn. Air Balloon can be good if the old Shaman gets trapped. But we are getting rid of both of them, in fact. Counter Catch is still sticking around. I'm not sure I like that with the Latias down. I don't think it's particularly helpful. Especially if they're getting energy down a turn. But as you say, actually, Ed's not attached in a couple of turns now. We've not actually put any pressure on. So this may be the time to just pull the trigger and hope. Ignition energy down. We are undersea tunneling. How many heads can we get? Miss, miss, miss. Not what we want to see. This crying emoji. We're going down with the sadness. We have not got a follow-up next turn either. A lot of our home streams were riding on hitting a single heads that turn. Armor Reach comes down. A Ho-Oh's here. It's a very expensive attacker to have. But again, with that Latias, I don't think you mind. Just get those energies into play. The Squawk coming down too. For the Irish discard. Drawing 5 more. In and around. But the Latias does come forwards. Fire off coming in. 1, 2, 3. Our first knockout of the game is coming forward. We don't have a follow-up Wugtrio for these reversal energies. However, our Dunsparces do have free retreats. We will be looking forward at getting them coming in. Right, what we're going to see. Wugtrio off the top. Absolutely insane top deck. That is exactly what Theo needed. If it wasn't that, it had to be a Hilda. I mean, you saw the last game, right? Surely, you saw the last game there. Because Theo's luck at the start was insane. It heavily tapered off, I will give him that. But it was, at one point, he was 9 for 1 or something. He was doing very well for himself. Yeah, I don't know what that achieves with the Latias, to be honest. And you're giving him a free out on that one. Oh no, we are 0 for 6. Oh, Theo. Oh no. How the mighty fall. And that is indeed Iron Hands. If he hadn't counter-captured out the active, then Armor Rouge would have been stuck. Much like that Prism Energy is on the Armor Rouge. Yeah, I remember Jake from Mana. He took this EUHC 3 years ago when it first came out. So you had like no reversal. You would like using I think Excalibur or something to attach whatever it was back then. And he said like he hit like no heads at all for the first 3 rounds and had to leave anyway because he had a book signing he was running. So he just hopped off and was like, yeah, I'll call it there for today. Neutralization zone, he's pointing a neutralization zone, but it's not going to work against the Armor Ridge, it's not going to work against the Iron Bundle, both of which put massive spanners in your plans. However, it's a pretty good set of draws here on the side of Theo. Say it's a pretty hard matchup. If they play it well, then Firebox is in a pretty good spot really. Bring back the Armor Rouge, but he can still bring it forwards. It does mean he doesn't take 2 prizes a turn, which is pretty big. Another Dunsparce down. Likely a Hilda. Looking for the Wugtrio, looking for the reversal. We have got follow-up draw for next turn anyway, so we're not looking too sad in that department. Wugtrio down. We are undersea tunneling. What can we do? There's 1. There's 2. The laws of averages are starting to come into play. We're now 3 for 6. It's a pretty good haul. However, we've got, to be honest, just under half a deck realistically for Ed now. Theo's going to have to hit a fair few more heads than that if he's going to have any chance. Ed knowing I need to put some cards back into the deck. Let's just recycle, see what's going on. However, Theo has got a follow-up Wugtrio there. What he does need, though, is some way to get more Wiglets back into his deck. I think after this one goes down, we're on our last Wugtrio. Last Wiglet especially. Just follow Will. Cheers, Ed, as well, if he's still there. Otaku Rizzo 3, thanks for the follow. What a name. Fantastic. Oh dear. Okay, Iron Hands allowed to come into the active though. Ampy very much coming forwards. Another 2 prizes. It's in a very commanding spot this game. Counter Catch is going to have to come forwards onto that Armor Rouge. I think must have been prized in game 1. Otherwise, that or Ed just managed to bench himself out of an Iron Hands possibility here. Counter Catch is going to have to come down onto that Armor Rouge. I think we're going to have to see Great Ball hitting double Dunsparce and finding that Sacred Ash to make sure we have a chance of winning this game 2 on Theo's end here. Just weighing up. Arson now. Arson later. I think it's Great Ball. Use. Finn. Use. Weighing those options. Can he get rid of it? Finds it at Dunsparce. Pretty big. First step to actually winning this game. Great Ball again. Finds the second 2. Pretty big. Yeah, I can imagine they're discussing literally every play. As I've said a minute ago, I think both of these are very much planning for tomorrow's cups. So they are talking through every possibility, every line. That's a pretty big Gravity Gemstone there, making it free to retreat. So this Iron Hands cannot attack as of currently, based on the amount of energy in play. But this Armor Rouge can. So I don't think they are going to win next turn, Ed. But Theo's doing everything he can to give himself as many turns as possible. I don't think it's enough though, because even with 2, he'd have to hit. With triple heads, he's only hitting 18. I don't think he can win at this time. Massive set of draws though. Okay, taking all the Wiglets he could ask for. Hilda in hand as well. I think if this was about 2 prize cards ahead, I think Theo may be able to stabilise this one. It's not bad. Set 6 going as well. Retrieval, the other Armor Rouge, but I think writing maybe on the wall now for Theo. Ice Fight Spirit, discard, drop to 6. 5 more in the hand. There's the Stadium Bump. Can he find any energy? Needs 3 to retreat. Which isn't impossible, because that's a double Armor Rouge, double Ho-Oh into Armor Rouge Fire Off, retreat to take those 2 prizes, win the game on the spot. If not, I think you're quite content in just moving those energy forwards and taking the knockout here if you're on the side of Ed. Put yourself down to 1 prize card and go from there. Yep, there we go. No other option, leaving 1 left to go. Yeah, I completely agree, Nathan. I think in this point here, it is over. I think he needs an extra 1 or 2 prizes. We saw it last game, 1 prize card. He hit the final 2 heads. He needed to win the game. I think there's nothing you can trap in this deck. And even a Latias and no evolutions is pretty hard, especially when that evolution can actually attach to set up, much like this for a one-shot. I think the writing's on the wall. I think Theo sees it. We may go for one last undersea tunneling just to get going here. Don't use all the luck, Theo. I think you're still under just. Counter catch into the old Ho-Oh. I think this is Theo's way of saying, yep, game, set and match. Don't think I would mind seeing a There's the triple tails as well to finish it off. end as you mean to, well, start as you mean to go on, quite literally here for Theo's case, and that will be game over to Armor Rouge box. We are headed to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen, of our round 2 of Ammonite TCG Games tournament here on a beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. I say beautiful, it's pitch black. I say evening, it is purely night. It's probably well past my bedtime at this point, but we've got games to cast. We're going to be here to the end. Anyway, we are here in game number 3. Theo with the choice. True, you can take those knockouts as well. I'd say I don't think I would mind seeing the Maractus and just trap the Latias, but now we don't have a Luminous, we have Prism. That is now a problem. It can attack itself, get rid of the old Maractus, and then go back to regular programming. Okay, Mulligan 1. Firebox does not need any more cards in hand. The Dunsparce for the free treat is not a bad start, especially with an Arven follow-up as well. That doesn't feel too bad. True, Jet Energies are pretty cool. Firebox isn't running Jet Energies though. But Jet Energy just generally in the format is pretty rough, isn't it? I completely agree. The option to go first, I think this hand is a hand to go second with, to be quite honest. You love to see it, but going first always feels pretty good in the old Dunsparce list, because you can get that first set of discards provided you find what you need before they're even able to attack in most decks. Obviously Miraidon's a bit of an exception, but we don't need to talk about that, do we? We're not playing Miraidon, we're playing Firebox, and that does quite often need a turn or 2 to set up. We need that Armor Rouge in play, we need a turn or 2 to get those energies in play with, from hand through Ho-Oh. And as you see here, we are attaching the Prism to the Mute. 6 cards in Ed's hand still. Be very surprised if we didn't have some form of follow-up supporter. There's an Ultra Ball. Get rid of Chi-Yu, don't need that. Don't need the old Roaring Moon EX. I think we're just checking for Latias. We're checking for Wellspring. We are checking for Iron Hands. There we go, man of the hour. We're going to take those 2 prizes every single time we can. Not a lot else going on in the hand there. No evolutions. No support. I can't evolve, sorry. I meant supporter here. I'm talking absolute nonsense at this point, like I have been for the last hour 46. Anyway, I think Arven's got to come down. We've got 3 cards to try and find some form of energy, ideally ignition, because no prize is taken. We found the reversal. It's not quite what you want to see, unfortunately. And I think we do have to chuck that Wiglet into the active there. We don't want to give up any of our Wugtrios. We don't need to unnecessarily. I appreciate that, Nathan. I enjoy casting. I have a good time doing it. I've done it for a few cups before. For Mana over in Eastbourne. It's been great fun. Really enjoy their cups in general. I'm currently judging them at the moment, but for bigger events they quite often get in a second judge as well, so I cast for them on their streams as well. But I'm having a grand old time here, and we're having a good evening. We're having a good evening. I do need to get a drink after this game though. I am parched. I've run out of a cup of tea already. Theo, as I say, it's risky. I don't think Theo knows Ed runs no boss in this list, just runs the bundle. So he has placed down that reversal on the Wugtrio just in case of Iono coming in. I think it's the right play at the end of the day, but it does mean that if Ed takes a knockout, there is the Iono. Good play from Theo there. Good heads up, get it down now. In the meantime, fresh set 6. There's all our ignition energy. Wow, Theo could have done with that last turn. The Dunsparce as well for follow-up, the Artisan 2. Theo's hand's not looking too bad if you can get a supporter off this to Dunsparce. I think he's looking pretty good. Hilda would be excellent, just make sure we chain those evolutions. However, on the side of Ed, I think 2 prizes are coming his way. Got the Prism, only 1 energy onto the Ho-Oh. Does mean a pass, it means Theo gets an out. If he can find some way to get this with Wugtrio thinning the deck first, good order, love to see it. Oh, the PG tips guy, I'm afraid there, Nathan. We will not be touching that Yorkshire stuff. Ignition, we're giving fresh 6 to Ed. I'm not sure I like that. We know he can't attack yet. That said, we can get off this Wugtrio now. He can't attack. He's got no Armor Rouge still. He's got not enough energy in play anyway. I don't think we Iono there. I think we just take a turn off. 2 Headso is not bad to see. Bundle's gone. That's quite good. Area 0 is one less step to finding a bump as well for your own neutralization zone. Means that Iron Hands can't take 2 prizes, force them into a 1-1-1-1-1 trade. However, it has been Ionoed. There is now enough energy in play for the Iron Hands to take 2 prizes, provided we can find that Armor Rouge. Ed still hasn't popped it down. Be interesting to see if he finds it. Nest ball fail, leaving that bench spot open in case he needs it. Night Stretch comes down. Bundle's now in play. Stretch 2 comes down. Charcadet comes into play. Not sure that was required. I think we're better off using that to bring cards. Oh, I guess he's doing that anyway. He's bringing them at the discard pile so we can Iono them back at some point. It makes sense. Counter catch is completely useless at this point in time. And there's a great ball. It is maybe a bit preemptive. I think we get the Wiglet down. Choosing to fail, that's fine. I think I'd prefer to shuffle that deck a bit more. We do indeed have the Hilda and the Ultra Ball. I wouldn't mind seeing the Ultra Ball getting rid of... Oh, it's hard to say actually at the moment. Because you don't... Counter Catcher could be useful if he evolves as another follow-up. And Gemstone forces him to use free energy to retreat that... the Armor Rouge as well. Now, the Ultra Ball does get rid of the Buddy Poffin. We are choosing between that Gemstone or Counter Catcher here. See, again, no prize is still taken on Ed's side, so getting the most of the value out of those Ignition energies before the reversal can take effect. Of course, reversal only activating on Evolution Pokemon and if you're behind in prizes. As it currently stands, Ed's 28 cards left. Not taken a prize yet. It's looking good for Wugtrio here in this game 3. Now, reversal coming out the deck. The Dunsparce coming through. I think Theo sees the writing on the wall. This Wugtrio is not long for this world. However, still continuing to cycle through that deck. Make sure he sees as much as possible. Neutralization zone here feels good. Forcing him into that Armor Rouge if he can find it. Not letting that Ho-Oh come through. However... Ed may be holding on to an Area 0. Undersea Tunnel comes through. Another 2 down. 2 to Stadiums come out. They do not. It does get rid of research. Does get rid of other ways for Ed to put cards back into his deck as he gets into this later deck. As I say, you want to see what they've got first, don't you really? I think before you move on to that one. I do agree. I think Theo may be worried that if he does have an Iono, and it is just a pass on the side of Ed. However, Pokegear for Hilda here would be huge. I think we'd have done Dunsparce first. We're reversing. Theo can't attack this turn. We are admitting here we cannot attack this turn. Theo's taking a turn off instead of hunting for that Pokegear and that Dunsparce. Iono comes into play. Again, I think we hold off. I don't think we play that. Theo realising he has attached a reversal. Not the Ignition energy. Happens to all of us. I can say 100% again myself that I have ashamed... Oh, sorry, I am shamed I have attached a Prism Energy to a Charcadet, then evolve it and go, I can move that off and then very much can't. And unfortunately for Theo, he has found that Ignition Energy torturing him there on the follow-up. and giving Ed a fresh 6 cards. Finding one more chance to find that out to both the Stadium and that Armor Rouge. There's a second energy. There's the Ultra Ball. Armor Rouge is now in play. Provided it's in the deck, there could be like triple in prizes. It is not. We haven't thankfully got one there. The game can continue. Armor Rouge comes down. Now, that neutralization zone does mean he can only attack with either bundle. And there it is. The Area 0. Ed had everything he needed off that Iono. We will be genome hacking. I don't think these guys are playing all too seriously anymore. I think that I think they may be having a bit of a laugh with each other. That said, the Sacred Ash is gone now. If he starts taking knockouts, it doesn't seem too bad. Of course, Ed's playing this slow. Fitting. Theo's actually behind on cards, but he can't use his reversals. Ignitions only work once. 2 more heads though for Theo. That feels pretty good. Theo might need to start attaching reversals to this Wugtrio now. It's pretty heads up from Ed there. GG, 1066. Appreciate the follow, man. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes now. Super Rod, putting some cards back into the deck. I like this from Ed. It's out-the-box thinking. I hadn't thought of it myself. Not clever enough. But actually, you are putting pressure on the mill deck by milling. 1 heads. 6 back as well. Theo does have more cards overall if he hits the heads off this one. May need to Iono though, as he's seen. He's got 4, 5, 6, 7. He will be drawing 6 out the deck still though. And he will be forcing Ed to draw 6 out the deck too. There is another ignition, thankfully for Theo. He can try and get this out. However, I think this may be the last ignition on the side of Theo. Be interesting to see whether or not he get this off. Because if not, he has to do 2 turn attaches onto of reversals onto a Wugtrio to attack. Because it only counts 1 colourless otherwise. Never the Dunsparce. Evolve. Undersea Tunnel. If Theo hits triple heads, he wins the game. Miss. Hit. Hit. He was only 1 off. Goes down to 3. Legacy gone. Not that it matters. We are in a mill off. I don't know if Theo has any more ignition energies left. He has to hope that Ed has done. He gets enough tails. Doesn't manage to deck out. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all gone. Only 1 head's on the side of Ed. 3 down. There's another reversal. That means Theo cannot attack again for the rest of this game. There are only 2 cards left. He's got 3 turns to survive. This is such a Uno reverse card here on the side of on the side of Ed. Still can't attack. There's no prizes taken on the side. He couldn't find that Armor Rouge early enough. And Ed realising is out quite soon by attaching to that Mew. I think Ed has done it. I think he's out-milled the mill deck. I didn't see this coming. Who is milling who at this point? I don't get it. That is incredible. Genome hacking. 2 heads for win. Heads. Heads. Triple heads to finish it off. Ed out-milled the mill deck. Theo's Wugtrio has nothing left to draw. And that is a 2-1 win in round 2. An unorthodox one at that. I had no idea I needed this, mate. I am living for it. What is this about? I absolutely love it. Oh, that's made my day. Congratulations there on the round 2 win to Ed. Theo, just unfortunate game 2 there, I think. I think if we hit a few more heads earlier on, we might have stood a chance. But that is a good old-fashioned mill-off. At noon, we mill. Absolute scenes. That was fantastic. I enjoyed that. Anyway, well done for both our players. I will see you guys ready for round 3 in a moment. Absolute scenes.